going to be a best of 3. First team to 2 wins it. We're finally getting started, so here we go, guys. Brazilian League group play round 2. UL Mad Dogs spawning over here in the blue spawning over here in the blue side in the lion base, going up against WR White Raven Tempest spawning over here in the red side in the dragon base. We are going to be on the forest of Nifel, and the game is just getting started. So let's open up our map and check out those splits. So coming directly out of the gate, we are going to be having White Raven Tempest making a fairly interesting play, to say the least. Solid Soul is going to be coming up against Ultra X over here on the beach. We do have that engagement going already. As well, we're going to be having Jesse. The other 3 are going to be coming up the regular side. Not going directly from it. A little bit slowed, if I do say so myself, in terms of where they're going to go. But this engagement here on the beach is all not going to go on for too long. Ultra just jumped into stealth, and he managed to clear that out pretty quickly. Now, I believe that WR was feinted a little bit there by Ultra. They thought he was going to go for the point there as he went into stealth, but he actually stayed on the beach. So again, keeping them contained here for the time being is, again, going to allow the blue team to just get swarm in here towards the middle point quite a bit. Zin Legacy in here right now. Again, checking out that sort of supporty engineer build, or bunker engineer build. We'll have to see how it plays. She's doing fairly good in terms of health. Just a note, too, her cleansing burst is going to do a lot of damage there. 3.1k heal, in addition to the regular heal that comes out when you initially pop the turret out. That's a lot of healing, in addition to these bombs, AoE healing too. So I do believe that they've actually chosen to run their engineer as their bunker, which again is something I don't think I've actually ever seen before in the competitive format. So, but she's holding up pretty nice right now. Is getting hit up with some CC at the moment. Red team members WR holding her pretty nicely against that pinpoint right now, but she is holding on. Again, getting bounced against that wall, though, not the best thing. She is CC'd quite a bit there. Holding on, but unfortunately not going to be able to get that heal off right there. Titio Mini is in here right now, so there is the chance that he's going to be able to get her up. More teammates rushing in too, so they just got her back up. Meanwhile, over here, we're going to switch the point of view to Soul. So now the Thief did take a lot of damage from the AoE work. Again, that's what I'm talking about there with the Dagger Pistol Thief. He can do a lot of burst damage, but like you're seeing right now, he's a really fragile character, and just the tiniest bit of AoE can come in and destroy him. Now, he's in stealth right now, pushed into the corner, so he does have a pretty safe time of getting back up, as long as I can get a teammate over to him. As you're going to see right now, Andoric Guardian managed to get right to him. Soul managed to pop his withdrawal, and he's going to be safe. Just roll right out of there, and here we go with the re-engagement right now. Now, is he going to be able to do enough damage to anyone? Miraluka Mancer's pretty low, and there you go. There's the burst. There's that power of the Dagger Pistol Thief, just jumping in there onto Miraluka, taking him down. Luckily, again, blue team had some excellent res utility coming off. They're really on par with that, as you can see here right now, managing to get him back up and into the game. Our next target, and we're actually going to switch points here real quick, going over now to the mine point, because we have had some contention here for quite some time. Ultra X playing very interesting, almost a stealth-focused Phantasm Mesmer. Again, to reevaluate what the build was, I apologize for misquoting anything. Again, I'm not the most profound source of knowledge on Mesmer, but it appears to be a mainly Phantasm-focused build here right now. Sir Ezreal is having a hard time hold up against it, and this is the build right here that Sir Ezreal is running. This is standard meta warrior build here, so Ultra doing an excellent job in this what appears to be a Phantasm Mesmer build against Sir Ezreal right now. Probably going to take him down in the next few seconds. There you go. And as long as no reinforcements come, that point is going to go to the blue team, and UL is going to take the first 2 cap here and to open things up. So we're already about 3 minutes into the game, and there's no one hit 100 points yet, which is impressive to say the least. This is a fairly stalemated game. Fairly even one. But as we're going to go in here to middle, it does appear, unsurprisingly, that WR is winning middle. Now, note that I think UL does still have quite a few assets in here. In fact, Soul is going to be going down here possibly in just a second. The Reses and Stomps are both now going off. We had a lot of CC rolling off, though, in favor of Soul, so they did manage to get it back up. But again, blue team's tossing in a lot of AoE here, too. This is actually still a pretty close fight as well. Miraluka Mancer down at the moment, although she's going to get back up, as we did have a stomp go off on Abel, going down once more. Blue team managed to stop and get him down there. But Miraluka is not out of it yet. She's pretty low here, has poison ticks on her, 410 health. Red team, however, not going to be able to pursue that target too well, and Miraluka will be able to get the heal off. We have some more CC coming in for Sir Ezreal, though, coming in directly into the middle and just CCing the crap out of Miraluka right now. We also had Andoric go down, in addition to Soul, so just inches away. So again, nice utility here, nice AoE being pulled off by UL, definitely managing to turn this team fight around into their favor. And now notice that they have lost the mine point, but I do think they're going to be pretty strong here, trying to take the middle. Going over to the mine point, however, as we do see blue team members still holding off here. Again, Ultra somewhat bunkering over here with his Mesmer build. Taking a look at it once more for those of you who did miss it as we started this match here. The trait itself is 20-20-30-0-0, running with Greatsword in addition to Sword Pistol with the Greatsword there. And note as well, we're going to see how he manages to hold off here. Currently going up against Jasmina Greaves and Apel. Apologies if I'm saying that. Yeah, Apel, I believe, over here from WR. Checking out, though, as you just saw there, UL took control of middle just moments ago. They do have that asset under their belt right now, and they're going to start ticking ahead. Again, current scores, currently WR Tempest is at 85 points, whereas we are going to be having UL Mad Dogs currently in the lead with the 2-cap at 180 points. But this match is not even close to over. There's only a 100-point lead towards UL. That can easily be turned around, and we're only 5 minutes into this game. Going over to the Henge here for a minute as we do some contention here. Luka Manser, in addition to Juk at the moment, currently fighting for control over this point. We also have Andurak, in addition to Andurak and I believe the Thief. Yeah, Soul is here as well. But as you saw there, a nice AoE chain just managed to go off on the 2 red team members, so that could have been a possibility if they're opening up to Luka, but unfortunately, she herself did come under some damage pressure there, so she was forced to fall back a little bit, and they couldn't really capitalize on that too well. As we're going to see here, though, we do have more people coming in favor for the blue team. Titium Mini, playing Warrior, just managed to come in here and start the support. So again, getting a nice getting CC there, unfortunately, by Titium Mini again, really hunting that Thief. They don't want that asset out there, helping out the red team. And here comes another member of the red team now coming into support, but everybody's starting to get pretty low. Ultra over here at the mine finally went down in what appeared to be a 1v2 for quite some time there. So nice job by Ultra holding off for that long, but nonetheless, red team did take control of that. Meanwhile, back over here at the Henge, and just note as well, we do have red team members trying to take down the boss. I don't believe there's any contention over it. No, it's going fully to the red team here. But anyway, going back over here to the Henge now where things matter. We do have Solsto again getting pretty low. A lot of the members of the red team actually getting pretty low at the moment. Solsto going to jump up here. Is suffering from heavy condition damage at the moment, so unfortunately, it's going to be a bit too much for him to handle, and he will be going down. Fortunately for him, none of the blue team members were actually close enough to get a stop off on him, so there is a chance he may be able to get a self-res, as we're going to see now. They're chasing him. They know he's there. Wait, no, do they? No, Solsto's actually probably going to get back up here. He was, oh wait, no, but he was moved closer, which is a dangerous move in itself. He's okay now for the time being. He just needs, oh no, Juk, here comes Juk. It's going to take him down, unfortunately, and Soul is going to get knocked out. Going back over here to the mid, in the meantime, we are going to be having another engagement starting here in just a few moments. Note as well, scores currently, UL's at 300 points. We are going to be having WR 170 points, with UL currently in the lead with 2 capture points. Red team did just get a boss a few moments ago as well, so they're going to have that under their hat here. Checking out here in the middle, though, again, Zin Legacy playing that bunker engineer with the usage of the elixir-infused bombs here, which is something I haven't seen in quite some time, to say the least here. Currently, the target is going to be Jasmine Greaves here for the UL, trying to knock her out, trying to knock the Necromancer out. They don't want to have to deal with all of that, and they don't want to have to deal with the minions, in all honesty. As you're going to see here, Necromancers as well are just always priority targets regardless of the build, because they're just a pest regardless of whatever build they're running, because they're just considered so strong right now in the meta. But as you're going to see here, getting focused down pretty heavily. She's probably going to go down. There you go. We're going to have the possibility of a stomp coming off here in just a few seconds. Red team members trying desperately to get her back up. Ross, oh, nice big bomb chain there. Big old bomb knocks her in the air. She can't interrupt the stomp, and that's going to just, and her actual CC gets interrupted midair by the stomp, so very nicely done there by UL. Andorandak now down as well. That's going to be their bunker going out. Ultra going to be pulling that off from stealth, and Andorandak is going to be taken out. Sir Ezreal, next on the chopping block here, is going to go down, and in what appears to be a flawless defense, UL is going to hold the middle point. Now, we do have some action going on over here in the courtyard as well, as we're going to be having Abe Hell chasing the warrior from the blue team. I believe this is Juk here. Yep, Juk's going to be making a run back to his close point, gliding directly past the members of WR here, as they do not want to lose that close point. They want to keep that 2-cap, as they're now less than 200 or less than 100 points away from taking this game. Soul in the meantime is on the hunt for Luka at the moment, but as you're going to see, Juk completely denying that damage, and with a nice chain there, again coming in from Juk, managing to knock Soul out of this, and Juk is going to head right over there, making sure his point stays defended, and UL will stay strong. In addition to that as well, we have Ultra again aggressing this far point here with this very interesting Mesmer build that we have seen him playing here, making a fairly effective far point against his opponents here. Jasmina Greaves is the target here at the moment. He is going to be in a 1v2, so we'll have to see how he manages to hold this off. Nice amounts of damage there that you can see going off onto his opponents. Really nice indeed. And a nice dodge on Sir Ezreal's CC. They're just getting out of the way of it before it became too much trouble. And as you're going to see as well, blue team just took down their boss. They're less than 25 points away now from taking this game. They did lose the decap at middle, but so long as they hold the Henge, and as you can see, they have one of their warriors just sitting here guarding it right now, there's probably going to be absolutely zero chance that red team could come back from this. Very unfortunate for them, but as you're going to see, we'll watch anyway. Going back to the middle point for the last few moments of this matchup, checking out what's going on right here. Both teams at a brawl at the moment. Apel a little bit overextended here against members of the blue team, UL here, so she's probably going to get taken down. There you go. Solso as well on the hunt, though, trying to take out Zin Legacy, but Zin Legacy just tanky as ever here. They are going to get Apel back up, use some resurrection utilities in order to accomplish that, but nonetheless, she is back up and in the game. But again, guys, as you're going to see over here at the Henge, there's no threat to that being decapped, so only 10 seconds remaining until UL takes this game, so I think it is safe to call it for this one, but we're not over yet. Again, guys, this is a best of 3. We're going to be moving on to Legacy of the Foefire in just a second. It's a new map, and a very interesting and very game-changing map, as it can always be, with that Lord coming into play, a possibility for a flip in the lead in just a few seconds, as that Lord kill is worth 150 points. So let me just update the scores here really quickly. we go. Give them 1 point there. So again, the next game will guarantee them the win in this set, but I do believe we will play the third game regardless to decide if it is worth a 2-point victory or a 3-point victory, so we'll have to see, just to confirm with the admins if that is going to be our rule set here. But we're going to be moving on once again to the Legacy of the Foe Fire. I'm going to be explaining that map for you guys in just a second as we get load in here. So again, Legacy of the Foe Fire, and we're going to get away from that point because those sounds are somewhat annoying. As we check in once more, as with all Guild Wars 2 maps, it is 3 capture point conquest, as you can see here. However, there is a bit of a twist on the points of this map. The middle point of this map, and I'm sort of trying to outline it now with my mouse cursor, is the largest point out of any points in this game at the moment. It's extremely large, which makes it extremely hard to take, but fairly easy to hold on to, as you can bunker pretty strong just by having someone who has a fairly decent amount of mobility by skirting around the outskirts right here. So we'll have to see how both teams choose to utilize that. In addition, you have those 2 side points located conveniently next to one team's base and the far point for the other team's base. But once again, this map does have that very interesting mechanic in that each team has a guild lord. Blue team's lord will spawn here, red team's lord will spawn here. If red team manages to kill blue team's lord, or vice versa, blue team killing red team's lord, that team is going to get 150 points toward their total score. And once again, they can completely rush it, abandon all points once they get to 350 points and just go straight for that. They can hold on to the bunker and win it normally. And in addition to that, if the scores are close, we can have a double Lord rush, or the team behind can rush the Lord and actually win the game for them. So there's a lot of possibilities that come into play with a Lord Rush. Definitely the most interesting and most game-changing mechanic out of all the secondary objectives in Guild Wars 2 maps. We'll have to see how things play out, though, because, again, we're going to get started in just a few moments. Teams are allowed to change builds between the games, so we could be seeing some change-ups here in Blue Team's lineup. It's strangely enough that Blue Team is actually going to be changing some stuff up here, possibly. So we'll have to see what they choose to change up. They may have different strategies for different maps. There are a few teams that still choose to do that, but a lot of teams are going to be sticking with generally one team composition. But as you're going to see here, Blue Team is going to be running something a little different. I believe they're Necromancer. They're actually going to be running 2 Necromancers now. So we'll have to, well, again, 2 Necromancers. Very interesting indeed. It seems like it's a good idea. There's a lot of AoE Connie, but you just rarely ever see 2 Necromancers. So, very interested to see how they're actually going to try playing this. So, I believe this is a Blue Team member. Yes, it is. Cable, taking a look at what he's going to be running here. I believe this is a Power Necro. Yes, it is indeed. Power Necros. We've started to see a lot of them, especially after the last balance patch. There's been a significant increase in the amount of Power Guardians that we've seen, mainly due to some buffs to the actual damage and tankability of it. But as you're going to see here, the Traitsy is running 6 Runes of the Air, as well as Staff, Dagger of Warhorn with the Berserker's Amulet, and the traits are going to be 30, 10, 0, 0, 30. But the big thing to look out for is the damage that'll come in through the Lich form, and I believe through his Death Shroud he can do a pretty decent amount of damage as well, but that Lich is just going to be crucial if he's allowed to free cast, which again, because of the general hugeness of the middle point on this map, he can have a pretty easy time doing. He's absolutely going to destroy everyone on the opposing team. We'll have to see how that goes. Red team doesn't look like they're going to change much. They're going to stick with the same strategy over here. Once again, red team is WR Tempest squad. Doesn't look like they're going to change much. It's going to stick with the same strategy, hoping that they're able to come back into this, play it a little better, change up their strategy, and overcome the blue team this time. So opening up the map here, we're just going to wait a few minutes, guys. Once again, we are going to be doing an 800 gem code giveaway. All you got to do to win that, just going back over to my webcam here for a second. My Twitter is directly below me in what appears to be extremely small text. Go ahead and go to my Twitter page and send me a tweet with hashtag GW2esports, and you will be automatically entered to win that 800 gem code. And if you are watching it from the rebroadcast, which is going to be happening directly after this stream, do not fret. I'm not actually going to be doing the giveaway until tomorrow, so if you're watching the rebroadcast, you can still enter as well, and you'll have just as much of a chance as everybody that's watching it live right now. But again, we are just waiting for a couple people to join back in here on the blue team. We actually are having a couple more change-ups, to say the least, over here, and I'm actually going to turn this down and play the music, so feel this awkward silence. But anyway, over on the blue team now, they are changing things up. I've noticed as well, they're bringing in a Thief this time. Titiu, who was running Warrior last game, is now going to be coming in on his Thief, so we'll have to see what that change-up is worth. Again, the Thief as well, and if I'm looking at his build correctly here, yeah, they're going to be choosing that Thief probably for the extra mobility. Again, this map is a lot larger than Forest, so it is worth it to have that extra Thief in there to get around the map quickly, to try and sneak in with the stealth, get those backcaps. This is a lot easier to backcap on this map. There's a lot of side alleys, a lot of smaller corridors, which you can sneak through without even being seen by your opponents, and it makes for some very interesting backup plays, especially by Thieves. It does happen a lot on a Kylo too, but unfortunately we're not going to be playing on Kylo today, so we won't be getting to see any of that Thief backcapping. But again, I think pretty much everyone is sort of joined up now, so let's go back in here to the game itself. That's not what I wanted. Let's go back in here to the game itself and see what's going on. So again, they are going to be running, they did change up quite a few things actually, just to pause the music again here. Bonitha Knee over here for the blue team. They did have K-Blood over here going Necromancer for them, but they've since swapped that out. They're changing their composition quite a lot here, so I'm not sure if they're just a bit unsure, or there's some stuff going on in chat, but unfortunately it isn't in another language, so I'm having some trouble reading that. But they are changing up the composition quite a lot. Note, we did have Titu Black in here on his Thief, but that's since been changed out. Let me just check something here really quickly. Anyway, sorry about that. Going back in here, Bonita Knee, again, running here on Necromancer here, checking out what her build is. Again, going to be pretty typical Necromancer build, 30-20-0-0-20 here. Again, taking advantage of the Doomfire with the Staff, Scepter Focus, as well as the Rabbit Amulet. And then so it seems they're actually going to be sticking with what they were originally saying. So, interesting. So, in what appeared to be a bit of a fake-up there by UL, they're actually going to be sticking with, I believe, the exact same team composition from last time. So, we'll have to see in just a few moments here, assuming this is their final team comp. Again, they are sort of discussing something in the chat that I apologize for not being able to read. But they are discussing something, and hopefully we're just going to be getting started in just a few moments here. Again, just to go over the builds one more time here for those of you that are sort of joining up late. Sold Soul here over on, to start off with WR. 6 runes of the Ogre, as well as Dagger Pistol with the short bow. Berserker's Amulet and the traits being 10-30, 0-0-30, running a pretty typical Dagger Pistol build here. Again, for those of you who are unaware, Dagger Pistol builds generally in SPVP tend to be sort of squishy, but able to pull out a very high amount of burst very quickly. So they're spike builds, basically, and they can absolutely destroy opponents in a few seconds. But the second they've used their spike chain, they sort of have to get out of the fight or utilize their short bow with cluster bombs to be able to do much, as they're going to be extremely squishy and really won't be able to stand in the midst of a huge team fight. Abel, the Spirit Ranger here for this team, with 2 runes of the Afflicted, 4 runes of the Crate, as well as a short bow, sword torch with the Carrion Amulet and the traits 10-0, 30-30-0. Keep in mind as well, this build comes into play extremely well in team fights. You have those 3 spirits providing the buffs to your teammates there. It makes for a very good backpoint build too, because of the fact that the Carrion Amulet makes you an extremely tanky individual with 1.2k toughness and 24,000 health. But we are finally getting started though, so we are going to have to interrupt the build overview. But here we go, guys. Round 2, WR Tempest versus UL Mad Dogs. UL Mad Dogs is up 1-0 in this set, and we're getting started here again on Legacy the Foefire. Gates have opened. Open up the map. And let's get started. So coming directly out of the gates here, we are going to be having Juck from the blue team making his way over here to the waterfall. In addition to that, Jasmina Graves is going to be going to the quarry here for the red team. Now, note Jasmina is going here. You usually don't see a Necromancer going to close point, and she is going to have to deal with Ultra. So this may have been a choice deliberately to try and deal easier with Ultra here. But notice as well that Ultra does have access to a lot of AoE, so that may have not been the best choice in terms of trying to deal with it. There is a lot. Actually, now that I think of it, this actually was a pretty ingenious choice, because there's a lot of stuff to actually get in the way of some of Ultra's abilities, because some of the stuff is going to be the first target it hits, and just having all that cannon fodder in terms of your minions in the way does make for a pretty good fight. So we'll have to see how that turns out, though. We'll come back to this in just a minute. It's over here at the waterfall, interestingly enough. Soldso is down. We do have Juck at the moment, along with Tichu Back Mini, currently in here fighting for control of this. Soldso was down. Note, red team is on the offensive here. We just had Apel go down as well. The Spirit wasn't popped. They just need to be careful with all the AoE, that they don't pop that, and luckily they did not. So they did manage to get Apel down and res up one of their teammates. Juck had gone down there just a few moments ago, but he's back in the game now. Their new target appears to be Soldso, so they're going to be going for him in just a second. Soldso knocked out Tichu Black as well. Going to be trying to get the stomp off or just get some AoEs off, as again, it's a fairly squishy target here in just a second. Sir Ezreal trying his best to keep the CC off his opponent here, but it's not going to be enough, and Soldso will get taken down. Sir Ezreal now coming under the pressure here is probably going to get taken down in just a few seconds as well. So UL will be holding strong onto this point, and unfortunately the opening offensive for WR will have failed. Note as well, they did sort of sacrifice middle point in order to aggress the far point, so that is going to open it up for UL to take an astonishing 3 cap here to open things up, and they are just going to soar ahead in terms of point advantage here to start things off. Currently have Andirak Guardian is going to be assisted by Apel now as she's coming out of spawn, going up against Ultra. Ultra again running that really interesting Mesmer build that we have started to see more and more in the meta, and as you can see here, is proving extremely effective on the far point. Holding off strong against 1v2s for multiple minutes at a time here. He's going to come under some pressure right now, though. As you can see, there are 3 or more from WR aggressing this all at once. Tichu Black is getting hit heavy here. In addition to that, Ultra's probably going to get hit really hard in a second, too. Tichu down. We have a smoke field down, so he's not going to be able to interrupt. Luckily, we did have another fear chain go off in the AoE. This is getting really brutal here. Ultra's trying his best to get a team fight back up. He does have Vengeance available, but as you can see, Red Team's pressure is all but evaporated eliminated from Titsu Mini, and he's going to get back up and into this game now. And you're going to see now target shifting. They're going to be jumping on Jasmina Greaves again, trying to eliminate the cannon fodder that is her minions here from the battle. We do have Bothina down. Well, the red team members are sort of just piling on at the moment, so unfortunately they're not going to be able to get him res back up and into the game. They're going to stomp him out, and we're going to be seeing now, it appears to be, that red team finally making some progress here over at this point. But as you can see, UL has made an astonishing lead gain here due to the fact that they were holding that 3 cap for such a long time here. 145 points to 5 points. A really huge lead for UL to open up with here in the first 3 minutes of the game. And you're going to see now the fight suddenly, almost suddenly shifting over here to the middle. UL again wanting to play it safe. They were under pressure there in the middle. They didn't want to have to fight a 2-point game. They're just going to completely fall back to mid and make sure all their fight is contained to this 1 point. That seems to be their focus for this, and it's working pretty well for them so far. As you can see, again, we're gonna have the main bulk of the fight shifting here to the middle. We do have a thief here from the red team. Soul that is gonna be working his way over here to Waterfall. Is in stealth at the moment, just popped up, so he's gonna have to go up against Bothina NA. Bothina running a pretty typical Necromancer build, so this is gonna be actually a really tough fight for Soul to go up against. We'll have to see how things go here now. As you're gonna see, just getting the fear off now. This could be a close one. Soul again taking a lot of damage at the moment. He is gonna be forced to fall back. 3 stacks of bleeds. His heal's gonna come up right now. Just got that off in time. Here comes the Bazzy Venom. He's gonna be able to get another burst chain off here. Unfortunately, missing the Heartseeker in the stealth there, so he's not gonna be able to get the burst chain off as well as he would have hoped. And then with another condition chain rolling off from Bothina, he is going to take a Soul down, and UL is going to be holding on to this point. Going back to the middle, however, we do have that fight going on right here. UL looks to be holding on pretty strong to this. We do have Sir Ezreal and Apel currently aggressing. Unfortunately, Apel was CC chained pretty hard, so she's going to get taken into the downstate, and Kingslayer is going to be going in for the stomp successfully. And with that, UL more than likely is going to be holding on to this point without any congestion. Checking back over here at the quarry point, we do have Ultra at the moment, again, aggressing against multiple odds. So UL definitely the MVP here today, in my opinion. As you can see here, really doing an excellent job. While he's not actually decapping the point, note that that doesn't even matter to him. They hold the 2 cap, and he's never, almost never. The only time was previously when we had the team fight here, and again, like we are now. He's actually never actually been in any of the team fights, so I don't even think he wants to be. He's only here as a distraction to hold off multiple people from Tempest at once here, from actually assisting on other points, and that's proving to be an invaluable asset. As you can see, again, UL may actually snipe this point. Note that, again, their thief, Soul is going to be making his way over here to Waterfall. In my opinion, Soul has not had the best of luck in these engagements over here, so it may be to their benefit. I noticed he was doing a pretty excellent job, too, when they were having team fights. He was managing to get in there. He got a couple snipes off on people with burst chains, so I'm kind of wondering why they're not making more use of that, because as you can see in these 1v1s, he's not doing the best that he could, unfortunately. He is getting beat out quite often in these 1v1s, so I think it may be better if they were to sort of shift Soul off into maybe going to assist with the team fights and trying to snipe people out without them seeing. But he is going to be falling back right now. The question is he going to actually be able to escape? Because as you can see, Juck running with Sword Shield is going to have that mobility to chase him down and will actually be taking him out. We do have another Necromancer, though, from the red team, and it's already been nothing here. Jasmina is going to be making his way over here. Again, the minion Necromancer over here going to be going up against Juck in just a few moments. But as you can see, just to update you on the scores here really quickly, UL Mad Dogs is currently up pretty heavily at the moment. They're only actually 150 points away. They can rush Lord right now if they want to. Only 150 points away from taking this game. WR, unfortunately, is still pretty far behind here at the moment. 82 points for their score here with only 1 counter point. So they do still have some work to do if they want to come back into this. Juck, again, going up against Jasmina Greaves, will actually come... And no, we have some people coming here, so we're going to stick with this fight. Jasmina Greaves here, sitting strong still. Is sort of on the losing side in terms of health pulls, but Juck, as you're going to see now, is getting some bleed stacks off. Note just for a second here, again, Juck's build. We'll take a look at this just to sort of introspective it. He is running with Soldier's Amulet, Hammer, and Sword Shield, so it's not your typical build here that we've been used to over the past few months. And as you're going to see there as well, Jasmina is going to get knocked out, and probably Abhel as well in just a few seconds here. It's not your typical build. It's definitely a little bit more bunker focused. The traits and the utilities are still the same, but those few little changes here, running a different weapon set for Sword Shield in addition to Soldier's Amulet, just sort of makes all the difference there, and it shifts him completely to almost a bunker-esque role. And as you're going to see here, he did an excellent job at holding that point for his team, and they're now less than 80 points from taking this game. Red team, again, somewhat confined at the moment to this to the quarry point right now. They need to sort of branch out from that and get to another point. Blue team as well, 70 points from taking game 2 here. Sir Ezreal is going to have to hold off in a 1v1 against the very dangerous Ultra Mesmer here from UL. Enderak Guardian is making his way to middle along with some of his other teammates. Meanwhile, over here outside of red team's base, both Thina as well as Jasmina Graves are sort of duking it out in a 1v1. Jasmina is going to be assisted by Abelhel here in just a second, who's just come out of spawn, is going to be assisting. Both Thina may have made a mistake in going this far, but that is yet to be seen here in the next few seconds. We're going to have to see if she's able to hold on. But as you can see her, getting chained pretty heavily by both the Necromancer conditions, in addition to the fact that this Ranger is actually dealing a pretty decent amount of damage to him as well. But she's trying her best to escape, as you can see right now. Currently running away. We'll actually shift again over here to the middle point, seeing what's going on right here. We do have Soul Soul trying his best to get some snipes off, but he's getting CC'd pretty heavily here by Titu Black. And with that last Earthshaker AoE, he's going to come in and knock him down to the ground. Jasmina coming in, trying to get the res off. There's a lot of AoE coming off on the body at the moment, and Jasmina got a little bit too low. Unfortunately, she was forced to back up there, and she's only got 4.3k health out of the death throw, so she needs to be really careful here. UL could open up on some bursts here in just a second, but again, guys, as you can see, UL is going to take this game, second game in a row here. Congrats to them. Congrats to Ultra, Jacques, Kingslayer, Titu Black, Mini, and Bonthina taking the second game here and putting the setup to 2-0. Now, I do believe that we played a third map as well. I just need to confirm that with our admins real quick, but regardless, I'm going to update the score here. And again, we are going to be moving on to the third map, I'm pretty sure, which is Temple of the Silent Storm. Now, this is actually, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the first tournament/league to run Temple in the rotation. So we'll have to see how it does play, because we've never, besides sort of some sort of shoutcasts that were uploaded to YouTube by a couple shoutcasters, including myself, we haven't actually seen it played really that much in a tournament setting, so we'll have to see how those things go. Just checking in here really quick. Yeah, so we are actually playing this game, so we are going to go for this. We'll see if red team's able to change up any builds or strategies here to accommodate them on the third map. And again, for those of you who are new to Guild Wars 2, or unfamiliar with this map, that were around at launch but sort of left, this is a newer map. It was added, I believe, November of last year. Temple of the Silent Storm here. Again, as with all Guild Wars 2 maps, it is 3 capture points, one being located conveniently close to each team's spawn. As you can see here, that is going to be Temple for the red team and Altar for the blue team. But this map, again, has a really strong secondary mechanic. In some games, it actually ends up being a little bit more important than the points themselves. As you can see here, we're going to jump over and show you where they're all located. We do have a buff that spawns here. In addition, an identical buff that will spawn on red team's side, spawning right here. That buff, when you do accumulate that, is going to add an additional 3 points to your stomp value. Normally, you would get 5 points with one, you would get 3, and those do with one of those buffs, you would get 8 points per stomp. And note that those do stack too, so you can get up to 11 points. I think of my math's right. Yep. Yeah, you can get up to 11 points per stomp, which is actually a pretty decent amount, especially if you're coming off the winning end of a team fight. In addition to that, over here in the middle, we do have the stillness buff that'll spawn here, I believe starting at the 11:30 mark, and I believe every other minute from then on will be spawning up here. When you do capture that buff, the value of your points is doubled. So if you hold 1 point, that's going to be worth 2 points per tick. If you hold 2 points, 4 points per tick, and 3 points, 6 points per tick, which 6 points per tick can just shoot you ahead. Huge amount. And that can actually be chained with the buff that spawns below in the cave down here, called Tranquility. When you do take that buff, it is going to flip all 3 points immediately to your control and knock any opponents that are sitting on that point away from the point and apply about, I think, 3 seconds of chill to them as well. So if you can get both the bottom buff and the top buff, you are instantly either going to shoot really far ahead of your opponents or completely turn the game around. It's a really game-changing mechanic, and sometimes teams will actually sort of lose track of the timers and actually forget to go for one of the buffs, and it can really lead to some sort of game-changing consequences for teams not paying attention to that timer in the map. So we'll have to see how this game goes. But again, as you're going to see here, UL Mad Dogs will be taking the win here in terms of point value, but we are still going to play on the third map where they're going to be fighting for either 3 group points or 2 group points if they lose this game. We'll have to see. We're getting started in just a few minutes. Trying to see again if there's any team changes here on the blue side. It doesn't look like it. Looks like they're just going to stick with their usual builds here. Again, Ultra probably going to be going to that far point over here just to talk about the splits here for a second. I do think we are going to see a team fight from UL to open things up. Probably not going to go for a cross path. Meanwhile, over here on the red side, we'll have to see how things go with that. I do think that there is a possibility for this team, a red team as WR Tempest, that is. I do think there is a pretty strong possibility for them to go for the cross cap instead, as they haven't had the best of luck in those team fights. But to counter my own point here, they did actually try that last game as well, and unfortunately it didn't go all that well for them. They did end up losing that and actually ended up getting 3 cap due to that. So it's a little bit hard to predict where WR is going to send their units here for this game to open things up. It could go either way for them, but I'm almost 100% positive that we will see UL open up here with the usual, close cap and then going for the mid with Ultra, either capping close, because this map is a little bit different in structure in terms of how Mesmer can navigate it, in my opinion. So we may actually see Ultra go for stay at home or go for far. He may go for far point like he usually does as well. So we'll have to see. But again, discussion going on the map. We'll hopefully be getting started in just a few seconds. Again, guys, if you would like to win 800 gems, you just got to go to my Twitter page. We'll go back to our little webcam thing here. Hey, yo. Just go to my Twitter page directly below my camera here right now. Go head over to my Twitter page and tweet at me with hashtag GW2esports. In addition to just anything about the stream or whatever, and you'll be automatically entered to win an 800 gem card. I'll be picking that winner tomorrow. But again, guys, we're getting started here. Last and final game, so let's go into the game. UL Mad Dogs, once again, for the last time here, spawning over here in the blue side, in the blue team balloon, going up against the red team, WR Tempest. On the red team balloon. We are going to be on Temple of the Silent Storm. The game has begun, so let's open up the map and check out those splits. So immediately out of the gate, we're going to be having Juck go for the close cap over here, and I believe Ultra, again, is probably going to be heading over here to the Temple for the far point. The rest of the blue team's going to be heading into mid, whereas the other members of red team, I'm actually quite surprised. They're going to go for that far cap again, but it's not a full-on far cap like it was last game. They're only going to be sending two of their stronger side point fighters over here, which is going to be the Spirit Ranger and the Engineer. Both of them extremely strong at navigating those smaller points on the side points, and just generally getting around the map. So this is actually, in my opinion at least, a really good choice to send over here. They're just going to have to be careful going up against Juck, because Juck has a pretty strong potentiality to go up against 1v2s here. He's really tanky and has a lot of AoE CC to toss out. Luckily for UL now, they are going to be having Bonita fall back to support with that. Checking out what we have going on at middle, because we do have some contention there as well. We do have apologies if I mispronounce his name again. Anadorak Guardian sitting here in the middle gate at the moment, actually doing a pretty nice job. UL has sort of abandoned this. They've chosen to go for the side points here now, which I'm fairly surprised to say the least. They do have some people here, Tissue Black, Mini, as well as King Player, currently sitting here trying to get control of it. But as you can see, Anadorak Guardian exercising some really nice control over this point right now. But in addition to that, back over here at the Temple point, we have Ultra again doing his delay act where he just sits here, keeps people held off for as long as humanly possible, and keeps them out of the fight. He's not even really trying to kill them, he's just trying to keep them here for as long as possible. You'll notice that really, in my opinion, because he's not actually trying actively to get them off the point and trying to get the decap. He's really almost just trying to keep them here for as long as he can, and maybe score off 1 or 2 kills if he can get lucky. But anyway, we'll go back over here to the Ultra point once more, where we do have most of the action. Abahel at the moment did take down Bonita just a few seconds ago. We still have Juck here, so there's still the chance for Bonita to get up. Nice AoE, but as you're going to see there, we did have the Engineer from the red team managing to get his elixir off there, and that's going to be a guaranteed stop. Juck as well was in Vengeance there, so he is going to get taken down as well, and red team WR will maintain control of this. And now for the first time, we do have WR opening up in the lead here. They're going to open things up with the 2 cap. Notice as well though that Ultra is going to stop that, but nonetheless they do have the cap lead for the time being, and as you're going to see, red team will actually get stomped out here, so UL will be reclaiming control of this point in just a second. But nonetheless, WR Mad Dogs is going to start things off here with a 20-point lead and the 2 cap initially in their advantage. UL will be taking the Temple here in just a second, and I believe the main bulk of the fights is going to shift to the middle here in just a second. Taking a look here at Sold So once more. The Dagger Pistol Thief for this team here at the moment. Currently trying his best to take down a bullet. Appears to be King Player, trying to knock the bunker off the point here. Going in for the damage, but unfortunately, again, really fragile due to that AoE there, and he is going to get taken down just because of all that. I believe it was mainly Hammer AoE coming in from the Warriors. Still has a chance to get up, though. Popped his Shadow Escape, and unfortunately, Ezahal Firearms came in there just a few seconds ago, but was absolutely sniped out. And Durax down 2. What the heck just happened? As we saw there, the members of WR were just absolutely destroyed in quite a few seconds there, and now UL probably going to take this point. Ezahal Firearms not going to go down without a fight, though, as he's seeing they're getting the knockback off, but nonetheless, UL is going to take control of this point now and shift the lead towards their favor. Now, we do have the first buff spawning in about 30 seconds. That's to look forward to. I imagine both teams are sort of getting prepared for it, trying to make sure they're within close ranges to rush over to that buff. They don't want to go too early, because it's sort of going to raise some alarms to the other team the second, because someone is going to walk by there in the next 30 seconds, so it may raise some alarms and send people over there that early, whereas if you wait till the perfect time, you may be able to sneak in there and get it sniped away before the other team can even have a chance to react to it. It's sort of a mind game you have to play with your opponents. Now, as you're going to see over here, Abel is going to be taking back the Altar in just a second. Hitsu Black, unfortunately, was not able to contest against that. We do have the buff spawning here right now. 2 members of UL are here fighting for it, going up against 1 member of the red team, Ezahal Firearms, currently sitting pretty strong here at the moment. Ezahal Firearms as well. They did change him out. I believe he was running for the, I believe he was on Warrior just a few games ago, but has now switched out to Engineer, running with what appears to be a pretty typical Engineer build here. Pistol Shield, Rabbit Amulet with the with Nightmare Runes, and the traits are going to be 30, 10, 0, 20, 10 here. Unfortunately, was knocked out in a 2v1. So that is going to be blue team taking control of that. And they now hold a virtual 2 cap over here. Red team, and UL actually is going to be taking control of this close point as well. So they'll have the virtual 4 cap for, I believe, the next about 45 seconds here. TTU Black Mini was taken down in the process of that 1v1, but luckily was able to get team support falling back there, and he's just going to get res right back up. Red team is going to be aggressing middle at the moment, though. As you can see, Solto falling in to try and take this away here at the moment. And Durak Guardian is going to be bunkering, unsurprisingly, again over here. Whereas the blue team is going to be sniping away the 3rd point, too. Again, nicely done by Ultra. Always going for that far point. He's we'll have to review the VOD, but he's never been in the middle. I don't think the entire set today. He's always been at far point. Every single time, and he's been doing an excellent job at it. So as you're going to see here, Eternal Firearms, obviously with the Engineer here, is going to be exercising superior point control, has a lot of knockbacks, I believe 2 or 3 or more at his disposal, in addition to some really dangerous damage spikes that he could use. Unfortunately for him, as you saw there, TTU Black came in almost out of nowhere and just absolutely decimated his opponents. He was able to get himself back up with the use of the Spirit Ranger there that was coming in, assisting him through the use of Abel being in the fight again. That really strong utility, having the Spirit Ranger in the fight. Again, however, it is 2v2 at the moment. We'll have to see. TTU Black Mini starting to look a little weak here. He may be going down the next few seconds. Ezra Hall as well. We're seeing he's holding on pretty strong, so I do think we will be seeing TTU Black going down in the next few seconds. There he goes, going down. Now Ultra in stealth at the moment. TTU Black is as well, but again, the Engineer exercising some really nice CC with the big old bomb. They're getting him off the point. Nonetheless, that stealth did buy them the time they needed to get their ally back up and into the game. So UL is still going to be fighting strong over here. Meanwhile, at the Alder point, we do have Soul Soul. He came over here, got the decap off. Maybe he'll get the full cap off, but unfortunately, that appears that's going to be stopped by just one little tick there. No, wait, no. Oh, no, he actually went off the point. Almost had it there. And is now, unfortunately, going to be losing progress in this 1v1. I don't see him winning this, unfortunately, just due to that, just all the pressure that the Necromancer can apply to a weaker target a lot easier. So we may end up seeing Soul Soul go down this 1v1 and UL retaking control of this point. But the buffs, again, guys, are going to spawn in 30 seconds, and we're going to have the bottom buff. Tranquility is going to be spawning this time, so that's a very dangerous buff. Some teams may go all in for that. Some teams may just send their bunker down there to stalemate it, and it's just that Soul Soul is sort of going to be hanging back, waiting for, I believe, Bonatina to leave this point, but she's smarter than that. She sees this. She's not going to leave the point. She's going to stick around. She knows the thief's there, and now the thief is actually going to leave this and get ready for the buffs, which are spawning in 5 seconds, and you can see it already on the minimap before I even go down there. Everyone wants this buff. We have TTU Black here. Juck is here, and Durak is here. We have Soul So down here trying to take this as well, so this is going to be a mad rush for the bottom buff. Now, this is where some of the issue can come in here, where UL could lose control of this. If they send too many people down here, they could very easily lose control of this map, just because of the fact that it's really easy to get tunnel vision into trying to get this buff. The same applies to WR here. Now, we did already see, they did already sacrifice the top buff for trying to get assets down here to fight for the bottom buff, and because of that, blue team was able to take away, or get the decap off at least on their far point there, and they have that top buff too, so they have that virtual 4 cap. They're just getting 4 points every 2 seconds now. They're ticking it away, and as you can see here, they're a little over 100 points away from taking their 3rd game in this set. Soul So, meanwhile, as we go back to the narration of the fight down here, Soul So in the down state, unfortunately, going to be really hard to get him back up just because of how squishy he is, and then Direct Guardian with a nice chain coming off for the members of UL down here is going to get taken down as well, and that bottom buff is going to belong to the blue team, and that's going to be a 3 cap in favor. Oh wait, no, again, that's where I was talking about the dangerousness of that. Now they did get the cap down there, but they had lost middle there for a second, but again, not really going to matter because they got Tranquility. They have that. They, luckily for WR, the effects of stillness did wear out before they managed to get the Tranquility channel off, but nonetheless, as you're going to see, UL probably going to take this game as well, and a really strong cap there down at the bottom of a really nice fight that went off there for them. Ezreal Firearms is down here off the middle point as well. Back over here at the Temple, Red sort of all in, trying to get this back, but we're only 15 points away from seeing UL Mad Dogs from taking this game. So I do believe that this set is going to go in their favor. Congratulations to UL Mad Dogs for taking this game. Bonthina, Ultra, Night Slayer, Juck, and TTU Black Mini. They're going to take this game in 3-0 and earn 3 league points for them in this week's matchups. And guys, that is going to be the end of today's games. However, if you whoa, that's a little low. Anyway, if you joined us a little bit late, don't fret, because we're going to be replaying the entire stream directly after this. I'm just going to sync it up real quick, and we'll get streaming right away, guys. So again, thank you for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as well. We're going to be having the next game played, I believe, at the exact same time. I'll send out a tweet about it. And again, guys, if you want to win 800 gems, just comment down below there, or rather, send me a tweet down below with hashtag GW2esports, and you'll be automatically entered to win. I'll pick for that randomly tomorrow. So again, if you're watching the replay, don't fret. You can still enter, and there's still the chance that you can win as well. So again, guys, be sure to tune in tomorrow, Sunday, and I believe Monday as well. And we'll see you for more Brazilian League games tomorrow. Have an excellent day, everyone. See ya.